as far as custom is concerned. Aniyah Sa'ara lo milchama. Jerusalem is Aniyah, a poor woman. Sa'ara, who is stormy, who wanders from place to place. Lo milchama, and finds no comfort anywhere. Again, a description of the Jewish people. The Jewish people are not comforted anywhere. The only place the Jewish people find comfort is in Jerusalem, in their own home. Everywhere else they wander. Every exile has its own face, and our exile here in the United States is constant wandering, even though no one pursues us. Many Jewish community in the United States have moved 4 or 5 times in 1 century. Abandoned millions of dollars worth of buildings to go on and do it again. It's not good enough. So God said, I shall set your stones in the most gorgeous setting, like a jeweler that takes a precious stone and sets it. And I shall establish you with sapphires, with the most gorgeous stones. The rabbis always said that sapphire, which is one of the stones that appeared on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, always had a certain quality to it because its blueness represented the heaven, was a reflection of the heaven. And therefore, even though there may be other stones that were more valuable, let us say, or more expensive, but the sapphire was like always a Jewish stone. Code Shimshosayah. Shimshosayah means your windows will be made out of crystal. And your gates will be made from polished stone, that they look like stone that has been polished, that's on fire, burnished. And your entire border, meaning wherever Jews live in the land of Israel, will be le'avnei chefetz, will be of desirable stones. So many say that refers to the Jerusalem stone that will be built. You know, that the sunlight, it takes on certain characteristics, certain colors, it has an iridescence to it, a certain beauty to it. All your children will be taught, will be educated in the ways of God. Again, the great prophecy, not easy to fulfill. Universal education. But universal education in terms of Torah, universal education. And great will be their peace. And Fortune say here a number of pshatim. First of all, they say, when is it peace among the Jewish people? When all of the Jewish people are educated in the ways of God, then there's peace. But if some are and some aren't, and there are different interpretations of what the ways of God are, so then that brings about strife instead of harmony. Our rabbis change the word here. Our rabbis say, Al tikra bonoyich el bonoyich. Do not read the word only as it says, bonoyich, your children, but bonoyich, those who are your builders, those who build the Jewish people. And so great will be the peace of those who build the Jewish people. And who are the ones who build the Jewish people? The Limudei Hashem, those who are knowledgeable in the ways of God, those who serve the Rabboni Shalom, those who study. Tzedakah tikononi, you shall be established in tzedakah. Tzedakah is righteousness. The Navi says it later, Zion b'mishpat tipodeh v'shoveha b'tzedakah. Zion is built upon righteousness. You cannot build it upon things that are wrong, upon exploitation, upon cheating, upon robbery. That doesn't help. That is not lasting. That's the words of the rabbis, Sheker Elo Raglayim. What is essentially false does not stand the test of time. Only in righteousness will Jerusalem be established. Me'oshek, Rachaki Me'oshek, stay away from oppression. from robbery, from extortion, from exploitation. Kilo siroti. You have nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. People do things because they're afraid. Because they're afraid, therefore they do things that are illegal. And they justify it because of the fact that the pressures upon them caused it to happen. Well, we are all subject to that. But the idea that is brought about here is that the illegality eventually will not last. Uminchita, and don't be terrorized. Don't be afraid. Kilo sikra beloyach, it will not come close to you. It will not hit you. Ein gor yogur, efes meosi. Also great expression. Ein gor yogur, you want to be afraid of something. Efes, there's nothing in the world to be afraid of, except meosi, except me. That's the phrase in the Chumash, Lo Salguru Mitnei Ish, do not be afraid of any man. God says that, what? Gur is afraid. No. Different language. Gur Yagur means don't be frightened, don't be terrorized. Ephes, there is nothing to be afraid of. Me'osi, only of me. That we say that in Hallel, right? Hashem li lo ira, mayasa li oda. God is with me, then I have nothing to be afraid of. He is not with me, then I have nothing to be confident in. Mi gor ito, who that dwells with you. Alayich yipo, will he fall upon you? In other words, that's a question. Who are you afraid of? You think that they're going to do something to you? They're going to attack you? They're going to triumph over you? It can't happen. Why? Because again, God is the one that is in charge. Hinei anochi borasi chorosh. Behold, I have created the smithy. And the Navi speaks in his time. So in his time, they were afraid of spears and of burnished iron and of arrows and of metal, chariots, etc. But in our time, the Navi would say, I have created nuclear energy. I have created rocket propulsion. What are you afraid of? Who created it? Who loosed these forces in nature? Who allows them to exist? I am the one that has created, the one that causes the fire to come forth from the bellows. He blows on the bellows of the coals in order to raise the fire. Describing the smithy's art. We are not accustomed to it. Nobody goes down to the corner to watch the blacksmith shoe a horse anymore. But for centuries on end, this was an imagery that was understandable to everyone. The one that creates utensils, tools for the purposes that they were manufactured. So I'm the one that has done it. And I am the one that has also created the instruments of war, the instruments of destruction, the instruments that come to destroy. I have created them as well. I guarantee you, God says, Kol kli yutzar alayich lo yitzlach. Every weapon created against you will be unsuccessful. The rockets won't land. Don't worry. Kol kli yutzar alayich. Every utensil created to harm you, lo yitzlach, will not be successful. And every tongue that comes to stand against you in judgment, that accuses you, Tarshi, you will find them guilty. They will be guilty. The ones that speak against Israel, the ones that speak against the Jewish people, that speak against God, they will be found wanting. They will be found guilty. The end is that they are the ones that fall. Zos nachalas avdei Hashem. And this is the nachala, the inheritance of those who serve God. It's their ultimate triumph, their ultimate victory is that they see the defeat of their enemies. And their righteousness will come forth from me, their victory comes forth from me, Num Hashem, says God. The Navi says, anybody that is thirsty, come to the water to drink. Free water. The description here is again a desert. And there's an oasis. And at the oasis there's a free coach. It's free. Our rabbis say a miryam Torah. The waters that are represented here are the words of God. A world that is thirsty for something of substance, for something of meaning, who is thirsty to have eternity and to have a purpose to life, come, drink from God's waters. Our rabbis give us the imagery here of water quenches thirst. There are other liquids that increase a person's thirst. Salt water, sugared water, certain sweet sodas, etc. It makes you more thirsty. Water always slakes a person's thirst. And somebody you say you can't afford it, you don't have money, it's free. I offer you something that's free. Come, sit down and eat. Eat, satisfy yourselves without cost. Without any price. I will not ask you later for the price. You'll have food and water and drink, but you'll have wine and milk. You'll have everything that you want. Our rabbis always compare the words of Torah to wine, to milk, to honey, to delicacies that a person enjoys. Because originally Torah is like water. It satisfies our thirst, but it has no taste. But the more a person delves into the Torah, the more a person understands, the greater a person is in terms of analysis. So then, in the Torah you taste everything. The Torah is like the mun. It has every imaginable taste. And that's why it has that attraction. It's able to stand the test of time. So now the Navi says, why should you pay good money and not even get a slice of bread? That's the description of life. Work like a dog and you have nothing to show for it. You go through it, costs anyway. Below lechem, you pay for it and you have nothing out of it. I always am taken by some of the bumper stickers that you see. You know, lately there's a plethora of bumper stickers that say life is a, and then there's an obscenity. But I always, the guy that's got that on his bumper sticker is usually driving a $15,000 car that obviously doesn't do it for him. That even so, why? That's what the Navi says. Why should you pay? You pay so much, you don't have anything for it. And why should you work so hard, toil below the sovo without any satisfaction, without any feeling of accomplishment? I always mention that the greatest and largest industry in the United States is the industry of, quote, having a good time, unquote. Billions and billions of dollars are expended in having a good time. But if we're honest with ourselves, the number of moments in life that we have a good time probably can be counted on the fingers of both hands, or even on the fingers of one hand. It's hard to have a good time in this world. People pay $100, $150 to go out for the night. They come home tired and sick and all the problems, disappointed.